So I've gone ahead and set us up with our normal graph where we have dollars on the y-axis and our quantity on the x-axis. And we're going to look at the difference between the total cost and the total revenue. So let's do the total revenue one first because that's the easiest one. So if you are a price taker, which these perfectly competitive firms are, then your total revenue is going to be a straight line with a slope that is equal to what? The price of your product, right? And then we're going to have a total cost curve that looks something like this. So this isn't going to look similar to our average total cost curve, right? Because our average total cost is equal to total cost over quantity. So now we're just looking at just this total cost, right? So this total cost starts off at some particular rate, right? That's my fixed cost there. That's why it starts off there. And then my total costs are going to increase, and they're going to look something like this. And so my total cost curve kind of starts out with this concave shape and then has an inflection point and becomes convex over here, and then it starts to kind of just increase at an increasing rate, right? The reason why it starts to slope upward more steeply is because of diminishing marginal returns, because we're in the short run. So this slopes upward more steeply because of diminishing marginal returns, right? Because we're in the short run, we can't always upgrade the size of the factory, the size of the pizza place, the number of brick ovens that we have, the number of espresso machines that we have, right? We're limited by that. So we can add more and more labor and more of our variable costs, but we're limited by our fixed costs. And at a certain point, those variable costs are going to, at a certain point, the added production of adding laborers is going to deteriorate. And at a certain point, if we keep pushing and keep pushing, we're going to actually end up losing money when we add more workers because, you know, they bump into each other, they break things, they distract each other, so on and so forth, right? So in this particular situation here, where is the profit? The profit is in this range where the total revenue is greater than the total cost. So this is loss, this is profit, and then this is loss over here. And if we were to graph that profit, well, then we would have to actually extend this a little bit, even though I told you guys we always work in the first Cartesian coordinate plane, right? So fibbing a little bit here. It's because our profit is going to be negative at first. Then it's going to increase. Nope, that's not what I wanted. No. One of these times. Close enough. So this is our profit line. And as we can see in the range where we have losses, profit is below zero. In the range where we have profits, the profit line is above zero, right? This is our zero value here. Maybe over here is probably a better place to put it. So we're trying to find the place where the profit is greatest, right? The place where the distance between this and this is greatest. And it looks like it's, and again, my drawing is not perfect, but it looks like it's somewhere here. That's going to be the place where my profit is greatest. At 60 units, I end up with a profit of 75. And this profit of 75 is going to be exactly equal to this difference here of 75 as long as you draw the curves correctly. So the maximum profit occurs when the difference between the total revenue and the total cost is the greatest. Questions on this way of looking at it? So this is one way of looking at it. We're not going to be graphing total cost, total revenue, profits. We're not going to be graphing that. This is what's happening in the background. We're going to be using marginal revenue and marginal cost in incremental analysis, which we'll cover in 1 second. But this is what's happening in the background. This is conceptually, we're finding this 60 point through a shortcut, which says that the quantity star, which is this 60, right? This Q star is our quantity star, is where our marginal revenue is greater than or equal to our marginal cost. So we're going to be using this shortcut for the rest of the class so that we don't have to do this whole noise here, but still find this 60 point.